What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Brawl Stars video. Today we're going to be getting into the next leg of the winners bracket of the Brawl Stars YouTuber tournament. This time around we're going up against Brawzil Force, led by none other than Consti, who's a fantastic Brazilian YouTuber. I'm very excited to go ahead and share these matches with you guys. They were intense. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, so getting into the first round, just before we actually started, we wanted to discuss a little bit about what we thought the enemy team was going to do. Brawzil Force definitely is a really solid high-tier team to go up against, so we wanted to make sure that we definitely knew exactly what we were talking about. You know, obviously everyone had to start out at Hard Rock Mine with no bans or anything like that, so you know, they were going to have to play a team that sort of countered the team comp that they expected us to use. Now, obviously, we favored Pam more than Poco, and I think most people do at this point. We definitely favored Ricochet, and we also have Nice Gaming 28, who is probably one of the best crows that I've ever played with, if not the best crow I've ever played with. He's absolutely fantastic at the brawler. So they probably know that we're going to be using Pam. They probably know we're going to be using Crow, and they might know that we're going to be using Ricochet. We didn't really know for sure. So do we counterpick what they might counterpick us with, or do we just go into the first match without thinking about it because those are our best brawlers to use? And I thought, and you know, we kind of all agreed on this, that we should go into this first round not even taking into account counterpicks or anything like that. They did mention that Kata actually did have low batteries, so we really need to get into those matches and not really stall or anything like that. So we were definitely getting right into them as quick as possible. We had some sort of strategy discussions. We were trying to figure out who they would use moving into this match, but with the new brawlers and the new balance changes and all that good stuff, I'm not entirely sure that we had any idea what they were going to end up using. It definitely was all up in the air at that point. Even based off of last week's results with their team, I definitely didn't know for sure what they were going to be using. We knew that we had to keep an eye out for Dynamite. We knew we had to keep an eye out for Ricochet. We knew we had to keep an eye out for Crow. And those were the main brawlers that I think that we needed to worry about with Brawzil Force. BR Pro Master is a fantastic Dynamite, if you didn't know. And I think all of them, there are a lot of people that are really good at Crow, but specifically Brawzil Force, they definitely have really solid Crow on their team. And, you know, obviously Ricochet is just the best long-range brawler in Smash and Grab in most cases. So we sort of figured that we were going to be seeing Ricochet, if any, long-ranged brawlers, especially in Hard Rock Mine. So moving on into the first match, guys, we did see a complete mirror match, which was actually kind of cool. It was nice to start things out feeling like, you know, we were definitely going to be testing our skills. Now, we talked about placements and everything. As you guys can see, me and Little Fox both went into that middle area. It's probably the best position for Ricochet to start out with. And obviously, Little Fox is going to focus more on the middle. I definitely got taken out early. That wasn't great. Little Fox did return the favor and take out BR Pro Master, though. BR Pro Master definitely not the best Ricochet, and I'm not the best Ricochet. I'm just saying in general, I felt like I could hold my own with him, which is not something that I really expected because I am not a good Ricochet player. That said, he did pick us off a couple times, so, you know, definitely is a very solid player, and you can definitely tell that. But I felt like I could hold my own, which is definitely not at all something that I expected to be able to do. I was able to drop my super there, take him out. We were able to go ahead and ace the team, actually. Grab a couple more gems. I probably should have went forward because we knew that we were going to be able to take out Kata. We just knew it was going to happen. So I definitely should have went forward, picked up some of those gems. We would have probably ended this match pretty quickly. Unfortunately, Kata is going to go in there, as you guys see, and Consti's going to take out our friend Little Fox, and Nice Gaming's going to go down, and I went down, and it just was a big ace. Unfortunately, Little Fox went down again to a super from BR Pro Master. It was just not looking good at this point. We definitely were feeling like it was going to be an uphill battle, but then I placed this fantastic super. We have another super going in from Nice Gaming. We coordinated it perfectly, and we're able to reverse ace the team in the last few seconds of the round. We did get the countdown. Unfortunately, Nice Gaming did go down from the super. I was able to reverse take them down with my super. And then you do see Kata did go down. Nice Gaming just being absolutely fantastic as Crow, as you may have expected at this point. Supers Consti, he goes down. Unfortunately, Nice Gaming also going down. BR Pro Master did go down as well. They got countdown again, guys. It was very, very close, though. We were kind of freaking out at that point, but then we realized that we were sitting at 9 gems, and they were only sitting at 10, so we would be able to go neutral. And then Little Fox, we were like, Little Fox, retreat, retreat, retreat. We're good. We got this. It's in the bag, guys. We're good. And Little Fox just had this intuition that he could go and extend and get all of those gems, and he did. And it worked out extremely well for us, because even if they were able to get all those gems, and they did, from us, you know, they weren't able to stop our countdown since we were sitting at 13. So Little Fox, absolute MVP, saved the day there, because we probably would have lost if it weren't for him sort of overextending, or at least what we thought was overextending initially. Definitely a fantastic, fantastic job. And I've got a lot of respect for that move in particular. I mean, it took some intuition to see that he could go in and get the kill and get those gems without, you know, getting ganked and taken out by the rest of the team. It was very, very solid gameplay overall. So I'm really proud of Little Fox. We take home the first match. So guys, moving into the discussions for the next round, they decided to go to Deep Hollows, which is basically our favorite map as a team. It's basically the best map in our opinions, at least for our general synergy and everything, like generally how we play. So it felt really, really solid. I felt good about it. The team felt good about it. We definitely wanted to ban Crow and Ricochet at the same time, because they're both dangerous to go up against. And eventually we did settle on banning Ricochet. Unfortunately, we lost Crow, so, you know, Nice Gaming wasn't able to sort of carry us with Crow. And I felt like at this point we were probably going to head into a win for our second round. It just felt good. It just felt good. Our team comp was really solid. We did have an interesting one. It was one that worked out very well for us in the last set. Nice Gaming taking Ricochet, and I took Dynamite. I feel like I'm a pretty good Dynamite, and, you know, I feel like I might have been a little off my game today. And obviously our opponents were absolutely fantastic as well. But, I was getting a little bit of lag, and you guys just saw a little bit of a lag spike as well. It sort of was a bit weird. I'm not going to blame anything on that, because I never really felt like it totally made me die, but, like, just for an example, there were a few times in this match where you're going to see my super stick, like, move forward, and it's going to take, like, a solid second or two for it to actually go off. So it's just situations like that that may or may not have had an impact. That said, we felt very, very good. About halfway through the match, we're sitting at 6 gems. I mean, things were very, very nice. Even though we were kind of cycling, we were getting killed on and off. I mean, it didn't feel like it was unwinnable. We felt like we were at a solid advantage. The random shot from the super going and reflecting backwards on Kata, they're going to take him out. That felt fantastic. That was so, so nice. BR Pro Master going to show his stuff as a Dynamite. He is a fantastic Dynamite, I have to say. I was actually just terrified of his Dynamite. After this round, it was scary playing up against him. He is a good Dynamite. He has some really, really solid intuition and positioning. They grouped up there. I should have supered. I tried to super. It didn't go off for some reason. That was upsetting. We did land the super on Kata and BR Pro Master there, but it didn't result in any kills, unfortunately. So then we're basically just going back and forth. We still maintain the gem advantage, but, you know, it didn't really mean much of anything, because we just kept going back and forth on who was picking up the gems and who had control of the mine. That said, we were able to push BR Pro Master back, which was really, really nice to see. Consti was pushed back as well. We got Nice Gaming in a very, very solid position. Little Fox sitting forward with that healing station, and we were just pushing them back over and over again. They were trying to maintain their position. We saw the super from Kata there, as you guys saw. Nice Gaming went down. Little Fox still sitting with 9 gems though, and I was definitely forcing them back very significantly. That said, we were sitting at 10 and 10 at this nice neutral position right now. We figured that someone was going to make a push. It was either going to be us making a push for the enemy team, or they were going to be making a push for us, and we did see Kata go in with his super. It did not work out at all. Like, at all. Absolutely just did not work whatsoever for Kata. And we had those 12 gems. We realized that we were going to go neutral again, and we did, 12 and 12. But we kind of figured that we could just sort of force things back and forth until we were able to get a solid kill. And then I did get BR Pro Master to go down. And then Nice Gaming was able to push forward and take out Kata. We were just sort of pushing back Consti at this point as Pam. It was relatively easy to do. And then we figured that we kind of just won. There was no way that we were going to see a super from Kata at that point, and that was going to be the second round, guys. That's the game. We won. We're 2-0. So things at this point were looking really, really solid. I was very, very happy with how we were performing. Overall, I feel like Brawzil Force definitely hadn't really shown us their full skill set at this point. And I was really proud of the team, honestly. Like, Little Fox and Nice Gaming have really put in a lot of work. They've been pushing, they've been practicing. We've, you know, figured out team comps. About a half an hour before the actual match was scheduled to start, we got in a voice chat and we were just talking about synergies and strategies and just generally how we're supposed to move in certain maps and everything like that. Overall, I'm just really happy with how we performed in these first 2 rounds. And it's just going to go to show you that, you know, practice definitely is going to be able to make up the difference when it comes to playing against players that have a much, much higher average trophy count than you. Again, we were sitting at about 4,000 to 4,500 off on our general trophy counts as an average as our team versus, you know, Brawzil Force. Anyways, so it was still a very, very significant trophy discrepancy on average. And I feel like we definitely showed that, you know, we can make that up if we have superior strategy and, you know, maybe being in a voice chat versus some people not necessarily being in a voice chat. Just certain things that are going to make a huge difference in a tournament set. And I feel like we just sort of showed off our skill and that we were just doing a solid job. Not even just playing. Obviously, you guys are seeing mistakes on and off because it's a tournament set. There's a lot of pressure. You feel like you really want to show off for everyone. And then, I mean, there's also the fact that you're going to have to counter pick and you're going to have to pick for the map. And, you know, you've written everything down beforehand and you know generally what you're going to be doing. But figuring out in the moment what your team comp's going to be really, really quickly, especially with a time crunch on it because we had to figure everything out before someone's device died. I mean, that's a big deal, and it's pretty difficult to get everything to figure out, or figure everything out relatively quickly anyways. So at this point, we're sort of discussing the bans, and, you know, again, we're going back and forth because this went to Bone Box at this point. We were going back and forth between Rico and Dynamite and Crow, because obviously, again, Kata is a fantastic Crow. Definitely was not something that we wanted to deal with at all. Dynamite is just scary in Bone Box, especially if we're planning on using spawners of any kind, and using Pam, you know, we were going to be relying on spawners for healing. So we wanted to go ahead and try to take advantage of that situation, and we banned Dynamite and then used Dynamite. So basically, they banned Ricochet. So obviously we weren't going to be using a long-range brawler, or relying on a long-range brawler, rather. And we wanted to make sure that they didn't use Dynamite, because Dynamite versus Dynamite, I feel like BR Pro Master is a better Dynamite than I am by a pretty significant margin. So we didn't want to get the mirror match, and we wanted to make sure our spawners stayed alive. And we figured they might use like a Jesse or maybe even Penny in their strategy, and it was a little bit of a concern that they'd be able to destroy our spawners, and then they'd be able to 1v1 me, you know, BR Pro Master would be able to, and then kill our spawners, so we'd have a little bit of an issue against them. And we did see a sort of amalgamation of the strategies that we were discussing that they may use in this match. We did see a Ricochet, a Tara, and a Penny. So Penny was definitely a wild card. We did see Corey use Penny in his matchup, and it was actually a really, really solid addition to the Skinny Pam's team. Unfortunately, Consti is going to take me out very, very early, and Little Fox is going to get taken out as well. Consti playing an absolutely fantastic game as Ricochet right off the bat. I was able to drop a few bombs on BR Pro Master and on Kata there, but, you know, I just feel like at this point in the match, we were doing okay, but we were in a shaky position. You know, with the amount of damage that Ricochet could put out and the amount of damage that, you know, Tara could do if we sort of lost track of her, it was something that I was really, really concerned about, and the rest of the team was also visibly concerned about this. And as you guys are going to see moving into this match, we're going to make some questionable decisions. Like, I just threw my super onto the mortar for some odd reason. I don't know what was going through my head, man. I'm watching the video right now, and I don't know what I was thinking. That was just stupid. And you're going to see some questionable decisions made by pretty much everyone. I think Nice Gaming was really solid in this, but we sort of lost track of Tara way too many times. It was not as good gameplay we had the first 2 rounds, that's for sure. And also, you know, definitely was really, really solid gameplay from our opponents. Consti, again, definitely have to hope that Consti plays more offense, you know, moving into future matches. You guys are going to see my super definitely didn't go off when it needed to there. That might have been a game-winning or a game-losing situation where, you know, my super didn't go off for some odd reason. I'm not entirely sure why. As you guys are going to see, my super is going to be right there again. I'm going to try to get Kata there, who's carrying all of the gems, all 10 of them, and that just wasn't going to work out. They had the countdown. Kata walked away, and Consti is a fantastic, fantastic Ricochet, so it just wasn't going to work out. I don't feel like Penny influenced the match too much, but I feel like she was good. And that's something that you guys might want to keep in mind for future matchups. You know, obviously, I don't think that we're going to be using Penny. We might, but I don't think it's going to fit on the team comps that we like to run. But that said, you know, other players are definitely going to try using her. In particular, I think that, you know, Penny is going to be very useful moving into future rounds of the tournament. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But, you know, at this point, we were kind of discussing, like, all right, well, we lost a match. We're still 2-1. We have 2 more rounds, and we can definitely take this one back if we play well and we ban the right brawler. So it was kind of funny because at this point, again, there was a little bit of butting of heads. We were discussing whether or not we should be banning Crow or Ricochet or Dynamite. And again, this is because Dynamite was so ridiculous in the hands of BR Pro Master. I was really concerned that we were going to just get taken out by Dynamite, basically, because his supers were ridiculously well placed. His normal attacks are just so crazy good, and overall, I mean, I think that in the realm of generally playing as Dynamite, you know, I think BR Pro Master is one of the best. So I definitely was a bit concerned about the possibility of getting just blown out by his Dynamite specifically. That said, I think maybe we should have considered the fact that Crow was putting in a lot of work with Kata, and that Consti's Ricochet was just ridiculous. Consti in particular is going to be the MVP, I think, of this next match, because it's just like we didn't ban Ricochet, we banned Dynamite. So I think it's weird looking back at things in hindsight. It's really obvious how things are going to play out. It's really obvious like what we should have done. And we chose Deep Hollows because obviously Deep Hollows is our favorite map again, and we did very well in the second round with it. So we changed up our strategy a bit because they banned Crow, but they didn't do it in the right order. So we thought they were going to continue to ban Crow, but they banned Dynamite when we went because we lost the match. So it was just a mirror ban because they didn't want to see it and I didn't want to see it, basically. So we were definitely thinking at that point, shoot, we're going to play against a Ricochet. And lo and behold, Consti is playing Ricochet again. Had BR Pro Master on Crow, which was an interesting change because Kata was a fantastic Crow. And then you have Kata sitting on Tara. So, bit of an interesting matchup. We have a healer. They're full on aggression. And guys, you are about to see just absolutely god-awful gameplay from me. Absolutely terrible. Auto attacks just bad. Overall, just dying in situations where I shouldn't have died. Jumping into places where I shouldn't have been. Not fighting Consti when I should have been fighting Consti. Consti, again, fantastic Ricochet, and I definitely should have played better. That's all I can say. It was really unfortunate. I feel like I let the team down at this point. And we're just kind of getting dominated right now. You know, Kata's able to just continually harass us and walk around the corner. I die. The super from Consti is going to go off and take out Nice Gaming. And Little Fox is just alone trying to defend, about 1800 HP. Super going down, going to pick up Nice Gaming again. Just not good. I was not able to charge my super a single time, guys, in this entire match. And you guys saw in my last in our last tournament set as the Coop. I mean, Tara definitely didn't do all too bad. I felt pretty darn good about her. And I totally dropped the ball on this one. So again, I gotta apologize to my team because I feel like I totally threw it. And Dynamite, I mean, maybe not the right ban. Maybe not. So things are 2-2 right now. It's just where we got kind of a low morale. Obviously, the steamroll is starting to turn around. They're getting the reverse sweep, and we were talking about whether or not we should ban Rico, but then we're like, you know, Consti's totally going to be playing Rico again if we don't ban. It doesn't even matter what map we play in. If we don't ban Rico, we're gonna lose. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. We're gonna lose if Rico goes on Consti. Like, that's just it. So we figured we'd ban Rico. We just sort of adapt to whatever they decided to ban. They banned Dynamite, which I guess is sort of a compliment to me. But, you know, at the same time, Deep Hollow is like, it's a fantastic map for Dynamite anyways. So they probably just didn't want to see it again. And then I just made the absolutely disastrous decision at this point to not choose, you know, Barley, to not choose a brawler that I'm more comfortable with. I made the decision to choose Ricochet. Now, again, guys, Ricochet is a fantastic brawler. He's so good in the meta and everything. He's absolutely amazing. And, you know, Nice Gaming got Crow, and obviously we had Little Fox on Pam, but, you know, he could have switched over to another brawler. We were sort of considering having a fully aggressive team comp with Spike, although, you know, the healing seemed to be a little bit more important, and the fact that, you know, they weren't going to be using Ricochet, so it was going to be, unless they had a lobber, relatively difficult for them to control the game, especially with that healing station going up from Little Fox. I shouldn't have played Ricochet, man. Anyways, going into this match, guys, the final match of the 5-round set, and I just get decimated by Consti playing Dynamite right off the bat. BR Pro Master, oddly enough, not playing Dynamite, but I don't think it really mattered in this case. They got us into a position where we were kind of cycling and kind of not at the same time. Very quickly they got mind control. That's basically it. They got extremely fast mind control. Kate is a great Tara. I definitely have a lot to learn from him and his gameplay in general, because his positioning was fantastic, and I felt just absolutely destroyed by him, especially like with the star power actually having like a solid usage and everything. I felt like it was very difficult to get any grasp on the game at all. And they're just building up their gems in the back, you know, sitting on top of the mine while we're just kind of chilling out here. I put in a terrible super that I thought was going to connect with BR Pro Master, but it didn't. So that kind of sucked. I totally thought that he was right where I was supering, and I was very confident that it was going to connect, and it just didn't. At this point, we're like, okay, we need to kill Consti because he's got a couple of them to reset, or he's got one rather. He's got one gem to reset the countdown, and I just have the just worst aim, just the worst aim in the history of Ricochet. It was so bad, dude. I was so embarrassed at that point. You know, I said my GGs, and I apologized to the team, and like said everyone did a good job and stuff, and I just got offline and chilled out for a little bit because, guys, it just did not go well. It just didn't. I feel really bad because I feel like I played okay in the first 2 matches, and then I just played terribly for the rest of the set, and I sort of single-handedly threw the match, or through the set rather, through each match for the team, because obviously, again, Nice Gaming didn't make very many bad choices there, and Little Fox is, albeit not a high tier Pam, plays Pam very well. So, you know, I felt like I was sort of the flex position where I could play a few different brawlers. Like, I could play Dynamite, and I feel like I have a pretty dangerous Dynamite. I feel like I could play a few other brawlers not as dangerously as Dynamite, but still relatively well. And Ricochet just was a bad decision. Just was a bad decision. And I don't know what I was thinking with Tara, because it just didn't work out, obviously, as you guys saw. I got absolutely decimated by Ricochet and by an opposing Tara with the same upgrades and everything. So definitely want to work on that in the future. We're going to be practicing for sure. I'm sorry for letting you guys down. The Coop definitely did very well. It was basically single-handedly me that sort of lost that for our team. So I'm going to practice. I'm going to get better at Ricochet first and foremost, because I've never been good at Ricochet, and I've never really put in the time to try to get good at Ricochet. So I'm going to try to get better at him. And we're going to be sort of analyzing teams that we go up against in the future, which next week will be the Offenders with Lex Mobile Gaming, which is terrifying because he's the 4 seed. Should not be in the losers bracket, but whatever. Anyways, it's going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to analyze some of his gameplay in a little bit. Probably in a few days, I'm going to be putting out a video, not even just talking about his gameplay, talking about like highlights and stuff. I really want to try to get together like an ESPN style almost post show, because I feel like that'd be kind of fun to do every week, like once a week after the tournament sets have finished. So let me know what you think about that. And yeah, again, guys, I'm sorry that I lost this week's set. It was really unfortunate, but you know, we did our best. So that's all I can say. Yeah, it was a rough matchup, guys. Brawzil Force, fantastic job. Props to you guys. Consti is a great player. BR ProMaster and Kata definitely not too shabby themselves. And if I could make one recommendation for any future opponents of Brawzil Force, ban Ricochet. Just do it, dude. I mean, Dynamite, maybe if you feel better against Ricochet, I guess. If you want to, you know, test fate and see if you can beat Consti's Ricochet, sure. But oh my god, dude, just the pressure that Consti was able to put on with Ricochet was unparalleled by anything that I could do or the rest of the team could even retaliate with. And I just, it was impossible for me at that point to properly retaliate with any level of force from any brawler. I don't think that I could have beaten him in any situation other than, you know, just flat out playing better. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope to see you back here for the next video very shortly. If you have any ideas for future Brawl Stars video you'd like to see, drop them down in the comment section below. Until next one, guys, have a fantastic day. Peace.